This video is made possible by the following mad lads. All their awesome gear they supply to me can be checked out in the description below. Hey guys, intense staring competition boy here, and welcome to F1 2019. So yes, I've been fortunate enough to be given an early access key for the latest F1 title. I've got to say that I'm pretty excited for this. So for those who've been around for a while, you'll know that one of the staples of this channel is my Codemasters F1 100% career mode, which I'm sure some of you will be happy to hear I fully intend on resuming as soon as I get back from Germany next week. But this video in particular is just dedicated to how the game drives. I'm a sim racer after all, so this is the most important part of the game for me. So what I'm going to do is head over to the solo menu, get stared down by Seb Vettel and Lewis Hamilton a little bit more, it's a bit creepy actually, and head over to the Grand Prix tab. In terms of selection, we have the same options as last year with the current F1 cars and the classic cars, but also we have the addition of the F2 cars. But for this video, I'm going to be sticking with F1 cars, and as you can see, of course, all the teams are represented in their current liveries, as you would expect. The rich energy there, maybe needing to change their logo at some point, if you know what I mean. Of course, we've got McLaren, we've got Racing Point, we've got Alfa Romeo, Toro Rosso, and that team that finishes last all the time. And usually I would pick McLaren for this type of video because I raced with them last year in my career mode and it seems fitting to do so. But they keep claiming my videos, saying that there's some sort of copyright in there because they see their logo. So I'm going to go for Alfa Romeo instead. And of course, there's only really one driver you're going to pick from the Alfa Romeo lineup, and that is Antonio Giovinazzi. And given that it's my first time playing F1 2019 on camera, I think it's only fitting to do our first race at the first race of the season, which is Melbourne. Well, so here's a familiar sight for all those familiar with the F1 franchise. Here we are on board in our Alfa Romeo at the start of the Australian Grand Prix. Well, 5 laps of it anyway. In terms of preparing for the race, I've only really done a couple of things, which is set up my direct drive wheel to feel nice with the game. It does feel pretty decent, I'm glad to say. And of course, turned off the halo column. But I'm sad to report that there's still no virtual mirror in this game. And what that means is if you're like me and you're a bit of a twat and you're running cockpit view because it's more realistic, you have to either back up the FOV so far that it all looks very unrealistic just to see the mirrors, or you have to rely on the proximity arrows, which don't really give you a good idea of where the car is until it's right on you. I mean, it's not like there's this big black bar at the top of the screen there which would be perfect for a mirror placement, but no, that's just me. That's just my thinking. Anyway, enough of being a snarky twat for now, anyway. I've got the car on the baseline setup just because I want to get a nice feel for how the game is tuned from a baseline. And I'm told that we shouldn't be seeing any more of these stupid ballast setups. I really hope that's the case, but right now, just on the baseline. So, time for our first race in F1 2019. So, if you magically teleport to the other side of the grid, let's get ready for 5 laps of the Albert Park circuit. Wait for the lights, optimum revs. Oh, terrible reaction to the lights there. Lost a ton of time off the line. There goes Alex Albon. There goes George Russell. And there goes Kvyat and Kubica. So I go from 16th down to last. At the drop of that hat there, top 10 starts in sim racing as I'm now stuck behind the Williams cars. We can't have that go on for too long. I'll turn everything up to maximum, try and come back, coming down to T3. Big late break there. And we come up behind Alex Albon. Thank you very much, Mr. Kvyat. So we've made a couple of places back there, but not an ideal start at all by any means. And now I've got it all to do for the rest of the race. Try and make sure I don't burn through too much of its ERS. Very easy to get to a point where you're just unbalanced and losing time because of it. On the back of Alex Albon now, might try and send up the inside. Oh wow, car's very slow in front. I'm actually very lucky to pull to the right when I did. Otherwise I would have ran right into the back of that Toro Rosso. But now we're up behind Kimi Raikkonen. Overtake ERS deployed. Let's see if I can get by before the fast left-hander. He's going to go defensive. No, not quite close enough there. Don't want to try that. I'll end up in a spin if I'm not careful. But back up to P16, my starting position. So I guess we've managed to get rid of that bad start. Now try and focus on moving up the grid a little bit further. This long blind right hand. I want to try and run it out to the Astro on the left there. Not quite as good through there as I'd like to be. A little bit of a lock there on the front left tyre as I try and get it slowed down for the slowest corner on the circuit. Now for the most challenging corner on the circuit, this right hand, and the downforce isn't quite there and the car wanted to slide around, but you can't let it. So I take a breath. That's 1 lap done. 4 to go here. And so let's talk about the driving, because that's what you're here for, I imagine, if the title has got you in. And I'm glad to say that as these games have gone on, they've just got progressively better and better. The way I would describe F1 2019 in terms of driving over F1 2018 is that it just feels a lot tighter. It feels like you have a little bit of, oh god, saying that as I go off, that's me being bad. But it feels like there's, you can feel the sidewall of the tyre a lot better now. In F1 2018, it's kind of a guess as to what the tyres were up to, and again, I just caught the curb on the inside there. Very easy to do that, and that's something I'll get onto in a minute as well. But with the force feedback, there is very definite, you can feel the limit of the tyre is a lot better than you could in F1 2018, which is very helpful, because I think F1 2018 was a little bit guilty sometimes of being a tad floaty. Same with F1 2018, they've got better as time has gone on. But yeah, again, a positive step in the right direction. Still not quite where I'd like it to be, but an improvement nonetheless. And with curbs, I've noticed that this track anyway, I've not really driven many other tracks to be honest, so I can't give you a full rundown of whether this is the case everywhere or not. But it feels like the curbs on the inside of the corners are a little bit more aggressive now, so it means that you can't really just chop big parts of the corner off if you're trying to straight line it to go quickly. So sorry Ben, no more corner cutting for you, mate. I love you, Ben, really. Anyway, down the straight, second time, we're in P16, we have Albon behind us, and there goes DRS, as I make a terrible mess of that first corner. Can we catch Kimi Raikkonen, I wonder? As you can see, I'm still not quite where I want to be in this game in terms of skill yet. It's my first time driving an F1 game for a little while. I've, of course, done the F1 2018 career, but it's been a while since I've actually been back in the cockpit of a Codemasters F1 game. It takes a little while to get used to. I've got to say, with the direct drive wheel as well, usually direct drive wheels are quite hard to set up for games that are, I guess, more aimed at a console market, but it's been pretty decent so far. All it was is turning it on, calibrating it, and the force feedback is pretty much there. I don't run any effects at all. All I do is run the force feedback strength, and that's pretty much all I need in this game, and it feels pretty damn good, if you ask me. All this jabbering, I'm falling back at Kimi Raikkonen here. Maybe I'll turn the fuel up a little bit. Oh, a bit quick through there. I felt the tyres scrub. Not in a nice way either. The car does sometimes move laterally a little bit still, which is a little bit of a shame, because that's something that I think F1 2018 still struggled with after 2017, which was terrible for it. But again, there is progression. Something is being learned from every iteration of the F1 game by Codemasters, so progression is good. Easy. I'm still having trouble getting that front end turned in. I'm only using the balance setup here because I wanted just to get an idea of how the cars would run on the balanced setups, doing 127s right now, which isn't fantastic. And of course, Alex Albon's got DRS behind me, really taking a lot out of T1 now. I was giving Ben shit for cutting, and I'm doing exactly the same pretty much. But hey ho, the game didn't say it's a cut, so it's fine, right? Looks like there's a bit of a train forming ahead of me. Someone's slowing somebody up, which might give me a chance to get back on to the gearbox of Raikkonen, as I make an absolute hash there of T4, I think that is. But it really is still a very intense experience driving these F1 games. That's something that I've really liked about F1 2018, is that when you start getting into it and start really trying to put in quick laps, it can really get quite intense. And I'm feeling that right now, just trying to chase down Raikkonen. And I'm talking at the same time here, but whoa, nearly close to the wall. But that's all part of the fun of it. The intensity of driving an F1 car is captured very well in F1 2019. There you go, easy through there, back on the power. Am I close enough for DRS now? 1.1 seconds, come on. But he's got DRS in front, so hopefully I can get on the back for the next lap, which is a final lap. It goes by so quickly around here. Easy. Got to say as well, I'm a fan of the improved sounds of the F1 cars. They've got that kind of, I don't know what, the whininess of the F1 V6 engine. Sounds a bit more turbo, a bit more hybrid-y. There you go, just does a little bit more to bring you into the cockpit of this car. So we've got DRS now.
This is your final lap.
You have to turn the fuel down to standards or we aren't going to finish. But we have got DRS, nice through there. A little bit slidey through there, getting a bit too aggressive on the power. Come on, DRS. Come on, Giovinazzi. Show the people you can do it. Dive to the inside. They're kind of half-heartedly, though. Not going to make a move from there. Again, grabbing that curb on the inside rotates the car in not a very nice way. There you go. Keeping it flat through there this time. Very nice. AI stubborn as always is what I like to see. They aren't going to give you any quarter unless you really send it on them. To the inside of Raikkonen. Got the anti-cut there to contend with. He's still there on the left. Give me some ERS. He's still there. He's still there. I think I'm just about going to be able to pull ahead of him for... Yes, just about snuck in front there for the fast left-hander. Wish I had a virtual mirror for that. We've got the ERS, so I'm going to keep my ERS on the high mode and the DRS too. Try and see if we get past Hulk before the last corner. And you really want more pace to do it. Charles Leclerc wins the race. Nice turn of luck for him. Chuck it up the inside of Hulk. Really sent it up the inside. That was rude. That was very rude. Oh, he's still there. Bit of contact. He's still there. It's going to be a drag race to the line. I think he's going to have it though. Come on! No, not quite. Not quite.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Couldn't quite get Hulkenberg on the line there, but to be honest, my exit out of the last corner was not good enough for that. Oh, that was fun. Well, that's the race done, and there you see confirmation that I finished in the 15th position, only about half a tenth behind Nico Hulkenberg at the line, but of course wasn't quite enough to get by the Renault driver. But as I said, that was a lot of fun. It seems like the AI aggressiveness has been toned down a little bit from last year. Last year was to the point where you'd have to keep an eye on the inside line, even if the AI was 2 car lengths back. In this, it's a little bit more forgiving. And again, just to reiterate, I think the force feedback and the feel of a sidewall of the tyre has improved from 2018 and gives you that little bit more feel when you're on the edge of grip. Now, of course, this is only a 5-lap race, so some of the stuff I've said here might not be applicable in the longer races, but I very much intend on finding out by continuing my 100% career mode, as I said, when I get back from Germany next Monday. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, then I'd very much appreciate it if you hit that like button. If you really enjoyed it, then make sure to hit subscribe and the bell notification icon, because that way you'll be made notified of future streams and future videos like this. Again, a big thank you to Cody's for sending a key for this game over, and as always, a massive thank you to my Patreons and to my sponsors. Take care, have an awesome day, see you all next time.